Hey warrior, stop for a moment. Breathe. In this exact heartbeat, something inside you is restless, something ancient, something hungry. It's not asking for comfort. It's demanding transformation. Not next week, not someday when you feel ready. Because this is the moment that separates those who live consciously from those who drift through life half awake. You are not at war with the world. Not yet. Your real battle is within, against hesitation, against the voice that whispers, tomorrow, against the version of you that fears its own power. Every day, you either sharpen your mind, or let it rust. You either rise, or you decay. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations to sound poetic. He wrote them to survive himself. He reminded his mind, in the dirt and noise of empire, that true strength is not in conquest, but in control. Epictetus said, "No man is free unless he is master of himself." That's not a quote for a caption. That's a command. What you're about to hear isn't motivation. It's a blueprint, a battle plan to reclaim the territory of your mind from comfort, chaos, and distraction. These aren't habits. They're disciplines, mental weapons forged by centuries of struggle and reflection. 10 daily works that sculpt an unshakable human being. One who moves through storms like stone through rain, unbroken, focused, silent. Before we begin, remember one law. Every section is a weapon. Miss one, and you enter life unarmed. So take a breath, clear the noise, and say to yourself, I will master myself before I master anything else. Now let's forge. Rule number 1. Work on your mind every day. Your mind is the empire from which all victories are born. Neglect it, and even your greatest dreams will crumble. Strengthen it, and the world becomes a reflection of your inner order. Every thought you entertain lays a brick in the fortress of your life. Every belief you repeat builds the walls that define your world. If you want peace, build it inside first. If you want power, master your focus. The Stoics taught that your mind is the only thing you truly own. You can lose fortune, friends, and even health, but your mind is the last citadel. Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you'll find strength. The chaos outside will always exist, but the calm within, that's your domain. So each morning, before the world wakes, train your mind like a warrior sharpens his blade. Feed it with wisdom, not noise. Guard it from the poison of comparison and the addiction of distraction. Silence the endless scroll that sells you insecurity. Because if you don't program your mind, the world will, and it will teach you to doubt yourself. Most people train their bodies but starve their thoughts. They seek muscles but ignore mastery. They spend hours reacting but minutes reflecting, and then wonder why their lives feel empty. But your mind, it is your weapon. If it's disciplined, you'll win even in chaos. If it's scattered, you'll lose even in calm. Working on your mind means studying yourself. It means journaling your fears instead of hiding from them. It means replacing "why me" with "what is this trying to teach me?" It means meditating not to escape life, but to face it with clarity. Train your thoughts until they obey your will. When your thinking becomes steady, your actions follow. When your emotions stop steering you, your peace expands. And when your inner world becomes unshakable, no outer storm can destroy you. Each day, remind yourself, my mind is my power. I build it daily. Read, reflect, breathe. Because you're not just learning, you're conditioning your soul to stay calm when the world burns. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining hardship not to suffer it, but to disarm it. They visualized loss so gratitude could take root. They faced fear in their thoughts so courage could live in their actions. That's how you fortify your mind. By walking through imagined pain before the real one arrives, and smiling when it does. You can't control the storm, but you can become the eye of it. Calm, aware, unshaken. Every sunrise, repeat this truth until it becomes your nature. My thoughts build my reality. My mind is my fortress. Rule number 2. Master your emotions before they master you. Your emotions are not your enemies. They are messages, warnings, storms inside your chest that carry meaning. But most people drown in the waves instead of learning to sail through them. Stoicism never asked you to kill your emotions. It asked you to control the direction of their power. Because emotion is energy, and energy, when disciplined, becomes strength. When left wild, it becomes destruction. The world will test you. People will provoke you. Your plans will fall apart. And in those moments, your emotional control is your greatest test of wisdom. Anyone can stay calm when life is gentle. But the real strength shows when everything burns and you still whisper, "I am in control." Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." That single line could save years of suffering if you truly lived it. Because the truth is, events have no power, only your interpretation does. Your perception is the birthplace of peace or chaos. So, when anger rises, don't deny it. Observe it. When fear knocks, don't hide. Listen to its reason, then act with reason. That's mastery, to feel deeply but respond deliberately. The Stoics practiced emotional transmutation, turning pain into perspective, frustration into patience, loss into wisdom. They didn't avoid the fire. They became the blacksmiths of their own hearts, shaping every emotion into a stronger version of themselves. When someone insults you, it's not an attack, it's a chance to prove your composure. When disappointment strikes, it's not unfair, it's a reminder that expectations are illusions. When sadness visits, don't suppress it, sit with it, but don't serve it tea. You are not your feelings. You are the awareness behind them. Emotions pass through you like storms across a mountain. But if you anchor yourself in stillness, the storm passes, and the mountain remains. Control doesn't mean suppression. It means understanding your triggers, accepting your humanity, and choosing to act with wisdom instead of impulse. It means realizing that every emotional reaction is a decision, and you can always choose differently. When the mind leads, the heart follows with peace. When the heart leads blindly, chaos follows with regret. Balance both. Let emotion give you color, but let reason draw the lines. So next time your heart shakes and your voice trembles, remember this. Courage is not the absence of emotion. It's the decision to move through it with grace. When anger tries to take your words, pause. When fear tries to steal your courage, breathe. When sadness tells you it's over, look deeper. Maybe it's just beginning. The disciplined warrior doesn't fight emotion. He directs it. Like fire, it can burn him or forge his steel. Repeat this truth until it lives in your blood. I feel deeply, but I act wisely. I command emotion. It does not command me. You've learned to train the mind. You've learned to master emotion. Now understand this. The mind gives you clarity, emotion gives you fire. But without discipline, both fade into noise. Clarity without action is daydreaming. Emotion without direction is chaos. Only discipline gives shape to strength. It is the bridge that turns inner potential into outer reality. The Stoics believed that the universe rewards effort, not intention. The gods do not bless the one who wishes, but the one who works despite wishing otherwise. And that brings us to your third law. Rule number 3, discipline, the bridge between desire and reality. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. It is the proof that you value your purpose more than your moods. Motivation may start you, but discipline keeps you standing when motivation dies. Every warrior knows, you don't wait for the feeling to strike. You act, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." He understood that hesitation multiplies suffering. Action dissolves it. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent when comfort whispers, "Not today." It's showing up when no one claps. It's doing the unseen work that builds unshakable confidence. Every time you delay your growth for convenience, you betray the future you. And every time you choose discipline over distraction, you create momentum, a quiet, unstoppable force that shapes destiny. The Stoics woke before dawn, not for applause, but for order. They believed the morning was sacred, a time to align mind, body, and soul before the world interfered. They journaled, reflected, trained, not to look disciplined, but to become free from the tyranny of laziness. Discipline is a war fought in silence. No audience, no reward, just you against the voice that says, 5 more minutes. That voice has killed more dreams than failure ever will. But when you act despite resistance, something shifts inside you. Each small victory rewires your spirit. You stop chasing motivation and start becoming it. Remember, discipline is not punishment, it's preparation. It's what turns chaos into control and dreams into structure. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And habits are built through repetition, not inspiration. So wake up early. Study when it's boring. Train when you're tired. Pray when you feel hopeless. Because every repetition is a declaration. I am not my comfort. I am my commitment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being." He didn't mean labor. He meant the sacred duty to evolve. The work of rising, learning, serving, enduring, that's the true calling of discipline. Discipline turns ordinary men into legends, students into masters, wanderers into warriors. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. But it's pure. You may not control your feelings, your circumstances, or your luck. But you control whether you rise when your body says no. That's what separates those who dream from those who become. So the next time you feel lazy, say this quietly: comfort is my enemy. Discipline is my weapon. Discipline is the hammer. Purpose is the steel. One shapes, the other endures. All the routines, the early mornings, the late nights, they mean nothing if you forget why you began. Discipline gives direction to your energy, but purpose gives direction to your life. The Stoics knew this well. They believed that every human being is born with a duty, a unique reason for existence, a role in the grand order of nature. Without that purpose, discipline becomes routine without meaning, strength without aim, motion without destination. So once you've mastered your mind and emotions, and forged discipline in silence, it's time to aim your strength at something that matters. Rule number 4. Find your purpose and protect it. Purpose is not found in comfort. It's revealed in struggle. Most people never discover theirs because they run from discomfort, and discomfort is the only doorway to truth. You'll never know who you are until life strips away who you're not. Marcus Aurelius called this the work of the soul, to find what the universe designed you for, and to do it wholeheartedly. He said, "Stop arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Purpose isn't found in thought, it's forged in action. Purpose begins when you stop asking, "What do I want from life?" and start asking, "What does life want from me?" When you stop chasing pleasure and start pursuing meaning, you awaken something eternal inside you. A force that moves mountains, outlasts pain, and laughs at failure. Purpose doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it's quiet, a whisper that pulls you toward the thing that terrifies you the most. The thing you know you were born to face. Your purpose is not your job title. It's not fame, or validation, or numbers. It's the impact your existence leaves on the world when you choose courage over comfort. Seneca wrote, "If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Without purpose, every day feels like wandering. With purpose, even pain feels sacred. You'll know you found it when quitting feels like dying a little. When rest feels incomplete without progress. When the thought of living without it feels heavier than any struggle with it. But finding purpose isn't enough. You must protect it. The world will test your conviction. It will distract you with noise, tempt you with ease, and flood your mind with doubt. Friends will misunderstand you. Family may question you. But the warrior stays loyal to the mission, even when walking alone. Purpose demands sacrifice, time, comfort, and sometimes people. But every sacrifice burns away weakness and leaves only truth. The Stoics didn't chase happiness. They pursued virtue, the alignment of action with purpose. To them, meaning was not in feeling good, but in being good. Doing what is right, not what is easy. Your purpose might be to create, to teach, to serve, to build, or simply to endure with grace so others can learn strength through you. Whatever it is, guard it like sacred fire. Because when the flame of purpose dies, the soul begins to rot in silence. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for signs. Start walking your path, and the way will reveal itself one step at a time. Repeat this truth every day until it becomes unshakable. My life is not an accident. My struggle is my message. My purpose is my power. Purpose gives you direction, but control keeps you on the path. Without self-control, purpose becomes a wish, a fragile candle flickering in the wind of temptation and impulse. You can know your mission and still destroy it with distraction. You can dream of greatness and still fall to anger, envy, or pride. That's why the Stoics said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Self-control is not about denial, it's about command. It's the art of moving through chaos without letting chaos move through you. Rule number 5, self-control, the art of being unmoved by chaos. Control is not about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself when the world tries to pull you apart. When the insults come, when the plan breaks, when the temptation whispers, when the moment burns and your emotions surge, that is where your training is tested. The Stoics lived among storms, wars, politics, betrayal, yet they stood still. Not because they were emotionless, but because they were anchored. They didn't need calm circumstances to stay calm. They created calm within themselves. Epictetus said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." They can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed. Read that again. It means no one can steal your peace. You hand it to them. Self-control is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength, the ability to stand still while your impulses beg you to move. To stay silent when your ego screams to respond. To wait when every nerve demands reaction. It's the difference between reacting and responding, between being a slave to your emotions and being a commander of your soul. The Stoic doesn't suppress. He observes. He watches the anger rise like a tide and waits for it to settle. He feels the fear crawl into his chest and meets it with breath, not panic. He sees temptation approach and remembers, pleasure is cheap, peace is priceless. Self-control is awareness in motion. It's when your desires obey your reason, not the other way around. It's when you don't need to prove anything, because you already know who you are. In every moment of tension, you have two choices: to react like everyone else, or to respond like a master. When the mind is untrained, it's like a wild horse, strong, fast, but dangerous. When tamed through control, it becomes a loyal ally that carries you through storms without fear. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That realization frees you. Because once you stop trying to control the world, you begin to control yourself, and that's where true peace begins. Self-control is the foundation of every other virtue. Without it, discipline breaks, patience shatters, purpose fades. It is the guard at the gate of your inner empire. Without it, you'll be conquered by every impulse that knocks. Practice it daily. When you feel anger, breathe. When you feel greed, pause. When you feel pride, reflect. When you feel fear, act with courage anyway. That's how you build command. Not through force, but through awareness. Not by being emotionless, but by choosing which emotions deserve your energy. A man who rules himself fears nothing. He does not react to noise. He listens to silence. He does not crave control of others. He masters the only kingdom that matters, the one within. So remind yourself, in every moment of chaos, I am not my reaction. I am my response. I do not serve emotion. Emotion serves me. When you've learned to control yourself, something changes. You no longer rush. You no longer chase. You stop begging the universe to move faster, because you understand, everything comes to those who can wait without losing focus. Control gives you silence, but patience turns that silence into strength. It's the difference between power that reacts and power that endures. Rule number 6, patience, the weapon of the unhurried mind. The modern world worships speed. Instant results, instant validation, instant success. But the Stoic knows, what grows fast, dies fast. Patience is not waiting and doing nothing. It's waiting while still preparing. It's acting with faith, even when results hide behind the fog of time. Seneca said, "Time discovers truth, but only the patient are brave enough to wait for it." Patience is strength restrained, the wisdom to endure seasons of silence without losing trust in your path. It's when the seed remains buried and unseen, yet you still water it daily. Because you know growth is invisible before it's undeniable. Every storm passes. Every wound heals. Every effort bears fruit, but never on your schedule. The universe moves at its own rhythm, and wisdom means aligning with it, not fighting it. Impatience is a form of arrogance, the belief that the world should obey your timing. Patience is humility, the trust that things unfold exactly when they're meant to. The Stoics trained themselves to love delay, to welcome the unknown, to respect the process. Because they knew, the greater the destiny, the longer the preparation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "No great thing is created suddenly." He was right. A warrior is not built in a day. A calm mind is not mastered in a week. A meaningful life is not achieved in a hurry. Patience doesn't mean you stop working. It means you keep working without needing proof that it's working. It's faith in motion. When life slows down, most people panic. They think silence means failure. But silence often means construction. It means the roots are growing before the tree appears. The impatient destroy what they build. They dig up the seed before it blooms. But the patient trust the unseen, and that's why their results last. Learn to wait without bitterness, to move without rushing, to trust without doubting, to endure without complaining. Every challenge, every delay, every detour, it's not blocking you. It's building you. Every second spent waiting is strength being forged in silence. Patience is not weakness. It's control stretched across time. It's mastery in slow motion. And in a world obsessed with instant results, the patient mind is revolutionary. So when you find yourself in waiting, whisper this truth. I do not rush the process. I become the process. The timing of the universe serves those who serve their purpose. Patience slows your heartbeat. It teaches you that not every truth needs to be spoken. Not every reaction deserves an answer. And not every moment requires movement. When you stop rushing, you begin listening. When you stop arguing with time, you start hearing wisdom whisper between seconds. That's when silence becomes your teacher. The most powerful voice you'll ever hear is the one inside you once the world goes quiet. Rule number 7. Silence, the language of strength. In a noisy world, silence is rebellion. Everyone speaks, few listen. Everyone argues, few understand. Everyone wants to be heard, few deserve to be. The Stoic stands apart. He doesn't waste his energy explaining himself to those committed to misunderstanding him. He doesn't fight every battle, only the ones that matter. And most of the time, silence wins more wars than words ever will. Seneca said, "It is better to conquer your tongue than to conquer a city." Because words once spoken are arrows you cannot call back. A single moment of reaction can undo years of growth. Silence is not weakness. It's restraint. It's the understanding that your energy is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to it. In silence, you see truth. You feel your intuition sharpen. You hear your own thoughts clearly, stripped of the world's noise. That's where clarity is born, not in argument, but in stillness. The Stoics practiced daily reflection, not public confession. They wrote privately, thought deeply, and spoke little. That's not passivity. That's control. Because silence is power in camouflage. It allows you to see others clearly, their motives, their fears, their weakness. The wise man listens twice, speaks once, and acts only when words would add meaning. The fool speaks to fill the air. The wise man speaks to fill the soul. Silence builds mystique. It disarms enemies. It commands respect without shouting for it. And most importantly, it keeps your peace unbroken. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." He didn't waste words, because he knew their weight. Every word carries energy, and the Stoic spends that energy wisely. Learn to hold your tongue when ego burns for attention. Learn to let people think you're quiet, while your mind builds empires in peace. Silence doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It means you've learned when to say it. It means you've found strength in restraint, wisdom in stillness, and power in patience. So in a world of endless noise, Make your calm your signature. Let your peace speak louder than your voice. And remind yourself, my silence is not emptiness, it is control. I don't need to be heard to be powerful. Rule number 8. Gratitude, the practice that turns pain into peace. Gratitude is not a feeling. It's a discipline, a daily act of defiance against negativity. Because the world trains you to want more, faster, louder. But gratitude teaches you to see more, feel deeper, and need less. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." That's not philosophy. That's a weapon. Because when you learn to be grateful, nothing outside can enslave your happiness again. Gratitude doesn't ignore pain. It transforms it. It doesn't deny hardship. It gives it meaning. When the Stoics faced suffering, they didn't ask, "Why me?" They asked, "What is this teaching me?" That's gratitude in motion, the ability to find value even in loss. To look at scars and say, "These made me stronger." Every sunrise is a reminder. You've survived everything that tried to break you. Every breath is proof. Life is still giving you another chance to rise. Gratitude doesn't need grand moments. It lives in the quiet, the coffee in your hands, the air in your lungs, the peace after a storm. Most people lose joy not because life is cruel, but because they forget how to notice small blessings. They chase the next thing, never realizing that everything they once prayed for is already here. Seneca said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for what he has not, but rejoices in what he has." That's power. Because the grateful mind is untouchable, envy can't reach it, fear can't shake it, and greed can't control it. Start every day with one thought of thanks. Not because life is perfect, but because you are still strong enough to live it. Be grateful for the pain. It built your patience. Be grateful for rejection. It redirected your path. Be grateful for endings. They created space for something greater. Gratitude reprograms your mind from scarcity to abundance. It turns chaos into clarity and pressure into perspective. When you practice it daily, you stop chasing peace. You become peace. So pause now. Look around. You already have more than you realize. The Stoic warrior doesn't wait for everything to be right to feel thankful. He becomes thankful, and that makes everything right. Say this to yourself: gratitude is my grounding. My peace begins where my complaints end. Today, I choose to see blessings, not burdens. You've walked through 8 pillars, 8 Stoic rules for mastering the inner world. Discipline, acceptance, focus, perspective, patience, silence, gratitude. And through them all, a single truth echoes. You are not ruled by what happens to you. You are ruled by how you respond. That's Stoicism. Not emotionless, but controlled. Not cold, but composed. It's the art of staying still in a storm, of finding peace where others find panic, of choosing strength when life chooses chaos. Every pain that shaped you forged resilience. Every delay built patience. Every silence taught clarity. Every small act of gratitude rewired your soul toward peace. You've learned that your emotions are signals, not masters. That your mind can be trained like muscle. And that true power comes not from control over others, but from control over yourself. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And that freedom begins the moment you stop reacting and start responding. So, when the noise of the world returns, remember what these 8 rules gave you. The power to pause, to choose calm over chaos, to see purpose in pain, and to speak only when silence has taught you what truth sounds like. The Stoic path is not a destination. It's a daily choice, a decision to live by principle, to think before reacting, to forgive without forgetting the lesson, to love without losing yourself. No crown, no praise, no applause will ever compare to the quiet satisfaction of knowing you didn't break when life tried to bend you. You endured, you learned, you rose. And now, as this chapter closes, carry these 8 rules not as quotes, but as anchors, because storms will come again. But this time, you won't drown. You'll stand, steady, silent, grateful, and unshaken. Master yourself, and you master everything. 8 rules. 1 mission, inner peace.